By the time she went to bed, Lady Freyja Bedwyn was in about as bad a mood as it was possible to be in. She dismissed her maid, though a truckle bed had been set up in her room, and the girl had been preparing to sleep on it. But Alice snored, and Freyja had no wish to sleep with a pillow wrapped about her head and pressed to both ears, merely so that the proprieties might be observed.
"But His Grace gave specific instructions, my lady," the girl reminded her timidly.
"In whose service are you employed?" Freyja asked, her tone quelling. "The Duke of Bewcastle's or mine?" Alice looked at her anxiously, as if she suspected that it was a trick question, as well she might. Although she was Freyja's maid, it was the Duke of Bewcastle, Freyja's eldest brother, who paid her salary, and he had given her instructions that she was not to move from her lady's side, night or day, during the journey from Grand Maison Park in Leicestershire to Lady Holt Baron's lodgings on the Circus in Bath. He did not like his sisters travelling alone.
"Yours, my lady," Alice said.
"Then leave." Freyja pointed at the door. Alice looked at it dubiously.
"There is no lock on it, my lady," she said.
"And if there are intruders during the night, you are going to protect me from harm?" Freyja asked scornfully. "It would more likely be the other way around." Alice looked pained, but she had no choice but to leave. And so Freyja was left in sole possession of a second-rate room in a second-rate inn with no servant in attendance and no lock on the door, and in possession, too, of a thoroughly bad temper. Bath was not a destination to inspire excited anticipation in her bosom. It was a fine spa, and had once attracted the crème de la crème of English society, but no longer. It was now the genteel gathering place of the elderly and infirm, and those with no better place to go, like her. She had accepted an invitation to spend a month or two with Lady Holt Baron and her daughter Charlotte. Charlotte was a friend of Freyja's, though by no means a bosom beau. Under ordinary circumstances, Freyja would have politely declined the invitation. These were not ordinary circumstances. She had just been in Leicestershire, visiting her ailing grandmother at Grand Maison Park, and attending the wedding there of her brother Ranulph to Judith Law. She was to have returned home to Lindsay Hall in Hampshire with Wulfric, the Duke, and Elaine and Morgan, her younger brother and sister. But the prospect of being there at this particular time had proved quite intolerable to her, and so she had seized upon the only excuse that had presented itself not to return home quite yet.